Welcome to our first session of this time slot, investigating video conference tools for HyFlex courses. And Dr. Christopher Price and Rachel Hagerman will be our speakers. So let's welcome them and thank you for starting. Oh, and I'm Dr. Glory Hink. I am the chair for this session.
Hey everybody, can you hear me all right?
We can.
Wasn't sure if we were going first or not, but now we know. Okay, let me just pull up my slides here. All right. So, welcome everybody to this session. My name is Chris Price, and I am the Academic Programs Manager for the SUNY Center for Professional Development, and I'll let Rachel introduce herself.
My name is Rachel Hagerman, and I'm an assistant professor at the Upstate Medical University.
So today we're going to talk to you about a project that we undertook the past academic year, actually started almost a little over a year ago. And we're going to talk about the research component of the project, investigating video conference tools for HyFlex courses. So this project was funded by the SUNY Innovative Instruction Technology Grant Program. The IITG program is something that's been going on in SUNY since 2012. And the purpose of the program is to do several things. Primarily, it's money that goes directly to faculty and staff on SUNY campuses to investigate the use of technology in teaching and learning and other areas of the academic enterprise. And it's unique in that, you typically funds like this for a grant will go to a campus or a department. But like I said, faculty get money to, try something out, like a research development kind of a thing throughout SUNY. And here are the goals. Like we're trying to replicate successes that folks have on campuses, transcend campus boundaries. The program has a strong incentive for folks to collaborate across campuses, and then building communities of practice around whatever topic they're looking to investigate with the funds they get from the program. And then finally, there's not only incentive, but a requirement that those who get IITG grants share back what they learn in their project, and there's a significant assessment component to all of them. And you're really supposed to, align with SUNY strategic objectives and really scale up what good things campuses are doing across the system. Now, like I said, since 2012, from 2012 to 2019, the program was humming along, and we would give out about 20 or 30 grants a year. And again, they ranged anywhere from about $10,000 to $60,000. But due to the pandemic, we had to pause the program in 2020. We actually had a call for proposals, and we had them reviewed, and we had some recommended for the SUNY provost. But as those of you know, in New York State, we had a pretty significant budget crisis. Everything was kind of frozen for a while, and so IITG kind of was frozen for a bit. However, we found out in late 2021 that there were in fact funds that we could access for the 22-23 academic year. And unfortunately, it was too late to put out a call for proposals. So those of us who support the program in SUNY System Administration got together and decided to fund two projects that we would kind of administer system-wide. They wouldn't go directly to a campus, but we set aside chunks of funds to fund two projects. One that you're going to hear about today, at least the research component of it, and another one to look at software tools to teach large courses with 50 or more students. So I basically got tasked as being the PI for both of these projects. And it was a lot of fun. And in fact, at 3 o'clock today, my colleague Steve Sturman will be talking about the faculty development, faculty training component of the HyFlex project. But Rachel and I are going to just talk about the research component today. So why focus on video conferencing tools? We didn't want to necessarily investigate the efficacy of HyFlex as a mode of instruction, but we knew that campuses were struggling to figure out what video conferencing tool to use for their HyFlex courses, and not only just their HyFlex courses, right, but campus-wide. And the pandemic, everyone rushed to use Zoom. And I know a lot of IT folks were like, well, we already have Microsoft Teams as part of our Microsoft contract. Why don't we just use that? And then other companies came into the arena and were offering video conferencing tools that were a little bit more focused on teaching and learning, and in particular, Engagely and Class. It was formerly known as Class for Zoom. And so we wanted to just look at, okay, is there any difference between these different types of video conferencing platforms, and so we can make a recommendation to campuses as to what to purchase for their HyFlex courses, or what to invest in for the HyFlex courses. So that was the motivation behind the project. And here was just it's a brief timeline. So like I said, we conceived of the program pretty quickly, got it all together last spring, and then we selected participants from our campuses, and they attended a HyFlex course design workshop in June of 22 that Brian Beatty and others from the HyFlex Collaborative put on for us. And then they redesigned their courses in the summer, or maybe the fall if they were teaching in the spring. And then they taught their courses, and they assisted us with the surveys and data collection, and they attended a bunch of community practice meetings throughout the year to kind of share what they were doing with others who were involved in the project. So here are our numbers for the project. And, we had initially 77 applicants, and, we got down to about 52 participants from those applicants. Some campuses, the applicants didn't realize their campuses weren't supporting HyFlex as a mode of instruction, so they couldn't officially have their course as HyFlex. Some applicants only wanted to teach the course either, in a dual method, right? So maybe there wouldn't be any async component, just like a sync and an in-class component. So we had to rule them out as well for the research purposes. We did apply for an IRB. We put an IRB application in for this study, so we needed to make sure that everybody was teaching their course in HyFlex as defined by SUNY, which is there has to be an option for students to take it in all 3 different modalities. In terms of tool choice, here's where we ended up. We really would have, it would have been better if we had everybody using each tool equally. So if we had an even split among the 4 tools, but this was kind of, even though we did apply for IRB and we did try to be very consistent and uniform in our methods and our sample and all that, this is kind of a real world research project. And so, initially faculty said they were going to use Class or Engagely, but then at the last minute said, I'm going to use Zoom, I'm going to use Teams. I just can't, get together, and my campus won't support it. That classroom won't support it. And in fact, we even had folks use WebEx, even though we weren't going to look at WebEx or Collaborate, because at the last minute, that's just what they use. So while, we did our best to make it uniform and a real rigorous kind of study, we had to we took into account that, faculty are teaching under conditions that sometimes is out of their control, and we still wanted to include them in the study. All right, now I'm going to turn over to Rachel, who's going to tell you about the actual research itself.
So our project plan, the question that we were asking was, what is the effective video conferencing tool choice on the implementation, including design and delivery of a HyFlex course? So to study this, we looked at faculty responses and student responses. We started with an initial survey of the faculty, and here, this was sent at the start of the semester and not at the start of the project. So really, we wanted to look at the implementation, once their course was redesigned, how did it get executed on the ground? And here we looked at kind of general information about the course, feedback on their training, because we wanted to also kind of get an idea as to how well the training went for each of the different tools. We wanted to look at their comfort level with the HyFlex modality, and then we had them assess their comfort level with technology using a TPACK self-assessment. We also had faculty collect attendance data throughout the semester. So we gave them a tool that they had to fill out. They were to track the students' attendance each week. We did it on a week-by-week basis. We looked at the first 15 weeks of the semester because that's generally what most of the schools participating that semester length was. And we asked them to tell us how did the students attend. And so they had to record that for us each week. And then at the end, they assigned the grades. And so they provided us with the information with the student names redacted so we could see the pattern of attendance along with the grades. And we also asked for an end of semester survey of the faculty to kind of see how it went. You know, what did they think? How did they end up using the tool the way they intended? What were the problems? What worked? What didn't work? We also assessed the students through an end of semester survey. So for the students, we wanted to see how was the tool integrated? Did they think it was beneficial, and would they recommend that this particular tool be used in a HyFlex course in the future? So the attendance pattern over the semester, you can see this was again based on a 15-week attendance because that was what was consistent among all participants. We asked the instructors to provide an average attendance for the students, and we gave them a definition. So if a student attended, you know, synchronously one day and asynchronously another, we kind of gave them parameters if their class met Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can see that it's pretty predictable as far as the attendance patterns went. We didn't see a dramatic change in attendance patterns throughout the semester of those students who did attend. So it appears that, you know, we did have a number of withdrawals towards the end of the semester that impact the data a little bit, but pretty much if the students were attending synchronously, they continued to do that. If they were attending asynchronously, they continued to do that. So it was pretty predictable as the semester progressed. If we look at the grade patterns, we kind of broke out what the grades were based on their mode of attendance. So if you look at the colors, the same colors were present as in the last schematic. And we also did a linear regression to kind of determine whether or not their attendance pattern dictated what type of grade they received in the class, and it didn't matter. So regardless of what their mode of attendance was throughout the semester, it didn't impact the grade that they earned at the end of the semester. And you can see that the grade distributions are pretty outside of the withdrawals. It's pretty uniform throughout. So the end of survey participation. For faculty survey, there was 50 faculty that participated, 7 in class, 2 in Engagely, 11 in Teams, 20 in Zoom, and 10 in the other category. So that kind of mishmash of other tools that we used. We have 302 students participate in the end of semester survey there, 30 in class, 13 in Engagely, 48 in Teams, 154 in Zoom, 43 in others. And we still added this, 14 weren't sure what tool they used. So we thought that information was important for faculty members to know whether or not their students knew what tool they were using in the study. So for faculty data, the N is actually 49. One of the faculty members didn't complete this portion of the survey when they submitted it. So that's why the numbers are a little bit different. Overall, it was pretty well received. These questions, again, were Likert scale questions. And faculty either agreed or strongly agreed, you know, greater than 60, 80% for each of these, including future use, good fit for teaching, effective for their discipline, was their room setup good, did it help facilitate student participation, the students used the tool effectively. They were all, the tools themselves were well received by the faculty members. When we looked at the students at the Likert data, they also had a very good view of the use of the tools. It was greater than or at or greater than 60% as far as strongly agree or agree for each of the criteria. Similar criteria, not exactly the same questions. The lowest category here was that the tool increased interactions among students. They felt that it increased interactions with the instructor, but the lowest category was with the students with each other in that tool. We also asked a series of qualitative questions in each of these surveys. And while the questions weren't exactly the same, they kind of had the same general purpose. So as far as faculty feedback, what was the positive feature of the tool? They really liked the recording and the ease of use of the recording. They liked that it was easy to use for the students and easy to use for them. A lot of people also indicated that they really liked that it was quite familiar to them as well. So the faculty focused a lot on ease of use for both themselves and the students. When we looked at the student qualitative feedback for that similar question, what did they like about using the tool? They really liked the flexibility. And so the flexibility of attendance and the fact that they had access to the resources and the recordings after the class was present, and that it was easy for them to use as well. They were really pleased with that. The next question was, what are the negative features of the tool? The faculty focused on the classroom management portion of that is their biggest challenge. Trying to manage all of the modalities at once and trying to manage the tool itself along with the classroom was something that was mentioned quite a bit. Some of the tools had challenges with recordings. We weren't able to get all of the tools integrated into the LMS. So there was some question as to where the recordings were and how did students and faculty have access to them after the fact. So those were a lot of classroom management kind of things. They weren't able to do everything that they wanted to do, or it took a while to figure out how they could, switch cameras or access the chat for online students. For students, the thing that they didn't like about using the technology tool was nothing. By far, most students said, they liked everything about using the tool. If they did mention something, it was a lot of technical difficulties. They couldn't hear, they couldn't see. The instructor was using a whiteboard and it wasn't visible to them in an asynchronous environment. The faculty member didn't use the tool appropriately. A lot having to do with the audio-visual component of tool use. Finally, the last question was based on, would you use this again in the future? For faculty, they said, if I use this again in the future, I would definitely pay more attention to the classroom setup. They would want to see ahead of time and practice ahead of time to be able to move more seamlessly through all of the tools and the environments. They would become more familiar with the tool and they would practice more on the execution. As far as the students, again, they had no suggestions, but they did, if something was mentioned, they did talk about that classroom management. A lot of students mentioned that some of the tools that were used, it wasn't easy for the faculty members to see the chat. So if they posted a question, the faculty member didn't always see in the synchronous environment that a student asked a question, or they couldn't engage. So really a lot of the classroom management comments came from students who regularly attended in a synchronous environment. And that's it.
Couple minutes for questions. Yep, I have a couple of questions. You might have noticed on the last slide that the qualitative data we only had through fall of 22. That's Rachel and my summer project. We got to get through the rest of code. Qualitative data. We have the regressions to look at. We have to do some more of that more statistical analysis, and then we're hoping to put together something to get published maybe in the fall, by the fall. Any questions?
I don't see any in the chat. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. And everybody, if you don't come up with a question in the next minute or two, keep in mind that all of the options for communicating via chat and the community for the conference. Lots of opportunity for follow-up. So let's give a round of applause to our speakers.
Outstanding. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Logan. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Great. I was wondering about demographics. Were these primarily college students, or were adult learners involved also? Thank you.
Yeah, so this were all courses that there's a lot. It was a diverse college, level courses, mostly undergraduate. Do we have any graduate courses, Reach?
We did. We had some graduate courses both in the fall and the spring semester, but it was all college level students. SUNY is college institutions, and we had a pretty good mix, pretty equal mix between kind of community college and comprehensive college and universities that were present.
We didn't ask students to give us any demographic information though.
Mhm.
The student surveys were completely anonymous with no no demographic information from the
Mhm.
students.
Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate the response.
Certainly.
Well, thank you. We finished right on time, so I'll let you head to your next sessions. So while she's getting that queued up, I'm Glory Hink. I'm the moderator for this session. And I'd like to welcome you to Transforming Learning with the HyFlex Academy at UTEP. And our speakers are, pardon me if I don't pronounce this right, Sarah Montoya Olson and Amy Valdez Lopez from the University of Texas at El Paso.
Yes, hi, welcome and thank you. Unfortunately, Kyra won't be joining us today, but I will be presenting for the both of us. And we have already recorded our session, so any questions, I will be able to answer them.
Hi, my name is Kyra Montoya Olson, and I serve as the director for the Center for Instructional Design at the University of Texas at El Paso.
Hi, my name is Amy Valdez, and I serve as the manager for the Center for Instructional Design here at the University of Texas at El Paso.
Welcome to the HyFlex Teaching Academy. Our unit created the HyFlex Academy to focus on course design, technology, and methodology necessary for HyFlex delivery, specifically here at UTEP. HyFlex courses combine the rich flexibility of online course delivery with the rigor of face-to-face instruction. Instructors are familiarized with the technology UTEP provides to support HyFlex delivery and provided the necessary tools to design their own HyFlex courses. The HFA spans 2 weeks with 2 synchronous sessions, face-to-face and online, modeling engagement between 2 live audiences. First, we will view the welcome portion of our academy. The welcome folder includes an overview of the academy, the syllabus, and course calendar. Beyond that, we have our facilitator section. In each cohort of the HyFlex Academy, we rotate different instructional designers to serve as facilitators. We have a space in the course where facilitators post their photo and a short biography so that faculty can virtually get to know them. Let's take a look at one as an example. As mentioned, we have a profile picture and 1 paragraph introducing ourselves. Right below, we add our title, contact information, and short biography. Lastly, before we get into the course content itself, in each Academy iteration, we integrate a help board that addresses any question or concern about the Academy, technical issues, the course content, dates, or any other question that has to do with HyFlex teaching. Participants will post their comments or questions on the help board, and facilitators will respond back to them within a 24-hour period. Ideally, this creates an online discourse community where other participants will engage and respond to questions in addition to facilitators providing answers. This course is designed to be an experiential, hands-on course for faculty to learn about teaching and a HyFlex delivery method. The course objectives include contrast online, hybrid, and HyFlex course design, assess the technology available at UTEP to support HyFlex course implementation, explore the tools and technology available to effectively deliver a HyFlex course, including Zoom, OneDrive, OWL, and PTZ camera operation, design a HyFlex session.
Now, let's dive into Module 1. In this module, we share different mini lectures that focus on the following topics. First, the differences between online, hybrid, and HyFlex. Second, how to teach HyFlex at UTEP. This is designed to give instructors an idea of what the process is for teaching HyFlex and offer a few best practices to be successful. Third, technology tools, which examines some of the technology used in HyFlex courses, design, and delivery. We also include a gallery of pictures that provides a glimpse of HyFlex classrooms here at UTEP. All of our HyFlex classrooms are equipped with a high-definition PTZ camera and a microphone. In some cases, faculty members have opted to use an OWL camera speaker to deliver smaller graduate-level courses. And lastly, we address the most frequently asked questions we receive from faculty, which are: what training is offered by UTEP for teaching HyFlex? Can I require a student to come to class in person? Do online students participate in face-to-face discussions? How do I request to teach a HyFlex course? Can I require students to have certain technology like a laptop in my HyFlex course? Are there certain technology requirements that I, as an instructor, must be familiar with to teach HyFlex? Now, we'll show you the content of Module 2. Completion of this module will prepare participants to add Zoom to your course and access cloud recordings, learn more about what students are saying about HyFlex courses, and the importance of technology. Participants will also submit a HyFlex activity as a final exam. Design a HyFlex class session. This is an example of an activity submitted by one of our previous participants and the feedback our facilitators had given. At the end of this module, they are asked to complete a HyFlex Academy survey to gain feedback on their experiences. Participants have the opportunity to share their thoughts about the design of the course content and the level of support they receive from the facilitators. CID uses this feedback to improve our processes and the support we provide to faculty, staff, and students.
The most important learning takes place in actual HyFlex sessions. We include one synchronous HyFlex session in each module. In true HyFlex fashion, participants are encouraged to attend in person, online, or asynchronously by watching the recording and responding to a discussion board prompt. The first session is presented through Zoom or MS Teams by two of the Academy facilitators and reviews two Module 1 topics, Technology and Blackboard, which is our learning management system, and HyFlex best practices with technology. To increase student engagement and faculty presence, we encourage faculty to incorporate polls, breakout rooms, and share tips on what to do before, during, and after each class session. In the second session, we invite a faculty member with experience teaching HyFlex to share their knowledge and recommendations in relation to teaching HyFlex classes. We do our best to invite different faculty members for every iteration of the Academy to ensure that we are addressing multiple disciplines, teaching methods, and varied assessments. Again, if participants cannot attend live, they must review the recordings and post their feedback in a discussion board prompt.
It is important for CID to keep promoting engagement and knowledge among faculty members, staff, and students in HyFlex teaching and learning. Expanding this delivery format provides students with multiple advantages, such as added flexibility by accommodating different learning preferences, schedules, and circumstances. Creating personalized learning experiences, encouraging students to engage with the course content in a way that suits their individual needs. Enhance active engagement while incorporating a variety of instructional methods. Increased accessibility by design. Participants can access the sessions face-to-face, online, or asynchronously. Increased technological skills and integration to enhance learning. A summary of the best practices found in the HyFlex Academy include clear communication, well-structured course design, engaging learning activities, technology training and support, assessments for different modalities, timely feedback and reflection. By sharing these advantages and encouraging the participants to implement these best practices, educators can create an inclusive and dynamic learning environment through HyFlex delivery.
Participants will gain the following upon completion of UTEP's HyFlex Academy: gain insight on the advantages of implementing a similar HyFlex Academy at their institution by offering students a competitive advantage and a demonstrated commitment to innovation and flexibility in education. Understand how to increase accessibility and engagement for students with different learning styles, preferences, and circumstances. Become familiarized with the tools and technology available to effectively deliver a HyFlex course. Understand strategies for engaging and interacting with students in both online and face-to-face settings simultaneously. HyFlex Collaborative Conference attendees will be invited to attend the upcoming HyFlex Academy in fall 2023.
Contact us at instructionaldesign@utep.edu if you want to be enrolled in our upcoming HyFlex Academy.
Thank you for your time and attention today. We look forward to your feedback and questions.
Thank you, Karina, for sharing our video.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now we want to open it for questions if anyone has one. When is your HyFlex conference in the fall? Our HyFlex Academy will be now self-paced course. So it will go live during August. Is it open to individuals outside of UTEP? Yes, it will be open for any of you who want to join us. We will create a temporary account in Blackboard and we can enroll you in our upcoming self-paced course.
That's awesome. Thank you.
No, thank you. And just let me type our email. If you're interested in this academy, please send us an email to instructionaldesign@utep.edu and we'll make sure to follow up with you. How long have you had a Blackboard Ultra and has it worked well for your HyFlex courses and the academy? It has, yes. At the beginning, we were kind of trying to troubleshoot it, but now they've released a lot of new features, and they keep doing that during every single month. They release some new features, so it has been working. I do recommend it, and it looks newer and it's more accessible than Blackboard Original. Do you see a lot of more students opting for this modality? Yes, because it gives them flexibility. So if they have the chance to be enrolled in a HyFlex course, they do take it.
We tend to find a bit of a challenge from faculty not wanting always to teach HyFlex and students really wanting the flexibility. Do you address that in any way, or what are your thoughts on it?
Well, that's what we address most. It's one of the questions in what students are saying, but at the end of the academy, that's why we have a survey to ask faculty if they do want to teach a HyFlex course. Some of them think that it's more work and they decide not to, but some of them do want to have that flexibility for students because it's a student-centered modality, right?
Right.
So it depends on faculty.
Right. Any other questions or comments? Oh, Miriam has a great one.
Kyra, do you want to take this one?
Of course. So hello, everybody. My name is Kyra Montoya Olson. Right now, we don't actually provide at UTEP, we don't provide any monetary incentives for teaching in a hybrid or HyFlex format. However, I would say that, the faculty that do work with us and do, make an attempt or actually do deliver a HyFlex or hybrid course, they do have the opportunity to present in several different forums like this. And or they can also add it to their PARF or their their CVs in terms of potential promotions and things like that. So I think that they are, if anything, they're given more opportunities. They're given the opportunity to mentor other, junior faculty. We actually have, we have a faculty member, I believe, that's online with us. His name is Dr. Ariano, and we've worked with him on multiple projects. Dr. Ariano, do you have anything to share in terms of the opportunities that are afforded to you in exchange for any kind of monetary?
My first reaction to the question is I wish there was an incentive for faculty. And what I've mentioned to Kyra before, and I'll say it again, at least from my perspective, you'd be surprised how little, and I hope this doesn't go out too far out, but how little incentive it does take for some faculty to actually be motivated. A mini grant, just different benefits. I think administrators need to be creative about what would incentivize us, or maybe a course release here and there. But as I mentioned, some of us are just trying to be as responsive as possible to students. So we cast aside incentives.
Thank you, Dr. Ariano.
And there was this other question from Melissa too. How many faculty have gone through the academy so far? The answer is 170.
That's amazing.
Yes, thank you. So please let us know if you want to be enrolled in our upcoming self-paced academy, and we will definitely let you know as soon as it goes live.
We hope to have it ready by August 1st. We are just moving it into a self-paced format so that we can actually, go this route and provide it to institutions and to individuals outside of UTEP that are interested in, taking an HyFlex Academy, and then also modeling their own HyFlex Academy, off of this. So that's the reason for moving it to HyFlex, modalities, so that we can be able to manage it and scale it out a little bit better.
Karina, I sent a link to our website where we keep all of the information about our academies.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You can just finish saying that. I understand why you're sending it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Karina.
Any last minute questions? Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you at the panel at time zones, 2 o'clock Eastern time. I'm in Central Time, so I'm make sure I don't get up or get mixed up and miss when I'm supposed to present. So thank you again to our panelists, our presenters. You're awesome. And I look forward to seeing you all the rest of the afternoon here. And don't forget to keep engaging in the Whova app and the discussion opportunities. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Very much.